Hi everybody, this is Keiko. How are you doing? So again, this is my friend Dan, Dan Machini. Hi Dan.
How you doing, Keiko? Good to be with you again.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Good to be with you again.
Yes, it is. It is. It's been how long? Almost whole month,
Yeah, I think so.
right? And Dan was telling me that how busy he has been. So you are on the vacation right now.
Yep.
And so you are not going away from home. You are having sessions after session. So having clients.
Yep.
Wow. So I have a question then. So about the way you do sessions. So you have worked with me maybe 3-4 times. And I know how you work with your clients, how you help people. I know a lot about that, but I have a question. So last time we talked about phobias and past traumas. You told us that pretty much you can help releasing those karmas, traumas, and phobias. And
Sure.
now I'm very curious. Okay, I have a friend and also my mother. So both of them are really severe. They have severe case of insomnia. So people who are having hard time sleeping. So do you think you can help with that as well?
Well, yeah, that's not particularly a trauma. That could be a lot of different things, but it could be. When, for instance, when I have trouble sleeping, it's mostly because there's something I need to work on, and um, so I have to pay attention to why I'm not sleeping, what's going on in my head, what's happening in my body. Um, and typically people don't want to pay attention to that. They just want to go to sleep. But nighttime especially is a great time to work on yourself because there's more calm in the world, especially at home. Nobody's, moving around. There's no TV on, no noise. And so it's always a great time to pay attention and to be still and to work on yourself. So insomnia could be, many, many things. If there's a trauma or if there's a trapped emotion or, any kind of energetic thing, yeah, we can work through that.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you say yes, but most of our cases, like your case, my case, sometimes I have a hard time falling asleep, or sometimes I have a hard time going to bed early. That's my routine. My body, my mind is so used to go to bed late, like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. That has become my normal. But if once I reach to the point, like I'm lacking sleep hours. So I naturally, I'm able to fall asleep. But insomnia, like a medical case of insomnia, such as my mother's case and my friend's case, they've been suffering from this, not being able to fall asleep, sleep time, lack of sleep time for years and decades. My mother has been on prescription pills for insomnia for at least, as far as I know, 30 years.
Wow.
And they are this is serious. I think serious. We can always say, Dan, you told me one time. So I say, I want to change my sleep pattern, sleep routines. And you told me. So it's easier, I can tell you. So stay up all day, all night. Don't go to sleep and just stay up. Then the next night, you should be able to fall asleep. So, but insomnias, people with insomnias, I think that's not the case with them. They, even with the pills, they cannot fall asleep.
It would be, I believe it would be individual, and I'd have to work with both of them to see why. Because like I said, there's got to be a reason, right? Or many reasons, right? For myself, sometimes I can't sleep because my body's making an adjustment and my body aches and some kind of upgrade coming. Sometimes I'm thinking about stuff. Sometimes I'm just excited, but for their case, it's a pattern that they can't get to sleep. So I would say that there's some kind of emotional problem probably that needs to be worked on, but I would have to work with them individually because it'll probably be an individual reason why.
So
and there'll probably be several reasons why.
You have to connect with the individual to see the aura, to see the energy, to feel the energy, what's going on in there.
Yeah, maybe they have a fear. Maybe it's an old trauma. Maybe, who knows? It could be many, many, many things. Right?
But do you think a person suffered of insomnia for 30 years? Do you think they can be cured? It can be cured. It can be healed.
Sure. Like I've always say, it's all your choice. So you're doing it to yourself. There's nobody doing anything to them. They have insomnia for a reason, and if we let go of those reasons, then they can go, back to more harmony. They're just out of harmony. That's all.
Out of harmony.
Everything is out of harmony or in harmony, right? So if they're not sleeping, there's something out of harmony. We just have to find it and put it back into harmony, right? And it could be several things. Right?
So they can.
When I was, as I've grown with myself, I didn't sleep very good in the past, and I didn't sleep very good because my body hurt, and I thought about too many things, and I was always stressed out, so I didn't sleep. But as I let go of all that physical pain, all the emotional pain, all the traumas, all the thoughts, memories, all the things that were keeping me from being at peace, then I started sleeping better. But when I'm not at peace, I still don't sleep very good. But then I'm able to put myself back into a state of peace very quickly, and then go to sleep. But it's yourself trying to tell you something always, right? And if we ignore it, right? If we keep taking sleeping pills, we ignore it, we won't get anywhere. If we take pain pills, we'll never follow the pain. If we take anything any drug, any kind of, my drug of choice was work. So I was a workaholic. So I would just think about work all the time. Then I wouldn't face myself, right? So anytime you don't face yourself and listen to your own cues and your own guidance from yourself, you're going to have a problem. And that's probably where they are.
So the body who which has been taking those prescription sleeping pills for decades, they can be off of the medications?
Sure, if they choose to. But like you said, the medications after a while don't work anymore, right?
Right.
Because we're so powerful that we just do more things to keep us from sleeping, right? So just like any other drug, at first it works real good, then it goes worse and worse and worse, right? Because we get stronger and stronger, and we fight it and we resist it, and then it doesn't work anymore. And then you got to take more drugs and more drugs and more drugs and more drugs. There's no end to it.
And then they have to increase the dosage.
Yeah, because you are so strong that you fight it, and then you need more dosage, and then pretty soon you just have to face yourself and start working on yourself and take responsibility.
Okay. Do you have, now your client, the client with insomnia is not in front of you. So what would you say, like a pieces of advice that you would like to give, you would give to those people who are suffering from insomnia?
Everything that's going on for them while they can't sleep is a signal to them to take a look at themselves. Everything is a mirror for them. Everything is trying to give them information. Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Right? When my body used to hurt, then I had to pay attention. Wait a minute, I need to let go of this pain. I need to let go of it. And then I could let go of the pain. When my mind would keep going and going and going, I couldn't sleep. I had to say stop. I needed to be at peace. I had to start working on the issues and the energy that were keeping my mind going like this, right? So I could be still, be quiet. Then I could go to sleep. Anything, right? Anything that you do is going to keep you from being in harmony.
And for example, my mother's case, my mother, I think she's, without knowing it, she's reprogramming over and over in her head, her own mind, that I have insomnia. I cannot go to sleep during the night. I cannot sleep. I'm suffering from insomnia. That's like you are hypnotizing your own self.
Sure. So I would ask her, how does that serve you? How does that serve you? Do you get attention from it? Do you get drugs from it? How is it serving you to not sleep? Right? Somehow it's serving her for the purpose of her own awareness and her own consciousness, right? It's serving her to try to remind her of something, but she's not listening.
I see. And I also, I've heard that some people, they, throughout the sleeping hours, they are always dreaming, in dream state, mm-hmm. Constantly dreaming. Their body and mind have not been able to rest. So, yeah, have you ever heard about that?
Sure. And, I dream too. And if there's something I need to work on, some of my dreams are very physical, they can get to you, but it's always for my benefit, right? I always do it for my own benefit, to get information for myself. So whatever happens, I don't resist it. And if I have a dream that I wake up like, oh man, then I pay attention to what I'm feeling and I work on anything I need to work on. But I don't, resist. I don't get mad about it. It's just what it is. If I wake up at 2 a.m. and I realize, oh, wait a minute, something's going on in my neck or something's going on in my chest, I pay attention to it, I work through it, and then I go back to sleep. But I don't, I don't run away. I don't try to take a pill. I have to face it. I have to face myself and everything that's happening for me. So yeah, and we go through changes all the time, right? We're constantly shifting, constantly, moving through our own kind of process. So some weeks I don't remember any dreams at all. Some weeks I remember some of them. Some weeks I remember a lot of them. Some nights I feel like, wow, man, I was busy last night.
Right.
And other nights I feel like I just went to sleep and then I woke up and, hey, what happened? I don't even remember, the whole night. But it's always different based on what your own needs are.
And then, yes, I've heard that also that people, we are all like going through the phase that we will no longer need 8 hours sleep, 7 hours sleep. We should be able to just function normally with full of vitalities and energy with only, for let's say, like 3 hours sleep.
Wow.
So you have never heard about that?
No, I will say this.
Some people already, claiming that they've been sleeping only 3 hours and perfectly fine.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, but I would say this. What we can't live without is quiet time for ourselves.
Right.
And if, some days when I have time, I'll come home from work and I'll go lay on the bed for an hour. And in that hour, I'll clear my mind and, maybe you call it meditating or whatever. But I just sit there and pay attention to myself, feel myself, connect with everything that is. And then in that hour, I'm completely rejuvenated and, ready to go again. But I try to stay that way as much as I can all the time, by every few minutes and every hour, closing my eyes, reconnecting with myself all the time as much as possible. But, the nights that I don't get that much sleep, I feel fine. And the nights that I get 10 hours of sleep, I feel fine, which isn't very often. But the whole thing is really about kind of paying attention to what you need. If for some reason you need more sleep because you worked out or did a lot of yard work or whatever real hard, then get extra sleep. If you don't, then don't. But take time for yourself always, every day. If you don't do that, you'll move farther and farther away from yourself, and you'll get more and more tired because you won't be connected to that energy that's everywhere.
Even, some meditators claim that if you 30 minutes, even 60 minutes, 40 minutes of deep meditations, meditative state is equal to 8 hours sleep.
Nope. It can be 30 minutes or it can be 2 hours, whatever's right for you. But that amount of time being completely connected,
right,
will recharge you for a whole day at least.
Have you ever experienced?
So that's why I tell you, I try to stay connected all day so I never run down.
Right.
Right. So like you asked about doing sessions all day, it doesn't run me down to do sessions with people because I'm connected and I'm just getting information. I'm not using any energy, anything. I'm just connected to people and I'm connected to source. I'm connected to everything. So I'm always getting energized when I'm doing sessions.
That is amazing, Dan. Because,
Never
okay, healers, okay. I know there are two different type of healers currently. So you say you are always connected to source, connected to your higher self, connected to God or universe.
Connected to me. Yeah.
I know. So no matter how many sessions, how many energy work you do, you always directly receiving energy. So you're not going to be depleted.
Yep.
You're not going to lose your energy. But there are healers that can only work for a couple of clients a day or clients a day or a few hours of their days, and they are drained, absolutely depleted. Energy was depleted. So that means they are not connected to the source.
Well, I mean, they could be connected in a certain way, but not in a complete way. There's energy everywhere. There's energy in the air. There's energy in water. There's energy in the sun. There's energy everywhere. But there's always energy available from the earth, all around us, and then coming down from the heavens. There's always energy available. But if you're using your energy to try to change somebody else's energy, like Reiki or something, then you better be grounded and connected. Otherwise, you're going to use your own up. And people get ungrounded and unconnected when they judge. So if I use my energy because I think you need my energy, then I'm going to give up my energy, and then I'm going to have a problem. But if I use energy just to funnel it through me to you, then I never use my own energy. I use the energy that's available, right? Which is what I'm asking people to do at a soul level when I work with them. Hey, there's tons of energy. If you're feeling worn down, it's because you're using too much of it, holding on to negative things, holding on to negative thoughts, traumas. You're spending a lot of energy hanging on to that. It's kind of like a rubber band, right? The farther away from yourself you are, it's like pulling a rubber band away from yourself, and it takes a lot of energy to hold yourself away from yourself. If you let that rubber band go, boom, you come right back to yourself, right? Just like letting go of the trauma, letting go of the emotional pain, letting go of the memories, the thoughts. When you let go, you just come back naturally. This is our natural state is at peace. So when we use a lot of energy to be away from it, like your mother maybe uses a lot of energy to not be in peace, she's worn out. But then she can't sleep because her mind's going crazy, and that's what wears us out. We're not connected to ourselves, not enough energy coming in, right? So I don't ever judge anybody I'm working with. I don't ever act like that I'm supposed to heal them. I act like I'm here to help you heal yourself. So I don't need to give up any energy. I don't need to do anything except help you help yourself. And that doesn't mean giving myself over. That means guiding you, right? So in that way, I don't need to use any energy whatsoever. In fact, while I'm connected, I stay connected, and I'm even more connected during sessions than I am in my regular everyday life. So it's even better for me.
So what would you say then again? So as a healer, Dan, what would you tell the piece of advice to healers who can only energy works for certain hours or only like few clients at a time? Otherwise, they are too exhausted to even function normally.
I would say to them to take a look at the reason you think you need to give up your own energy for them. They have the access to all the energy in the cosmos just like you do. So why would you need to give them something they already have access to? What you need to do is help them remember, help them reconnect to their energy, right? Then they'll have it too. But if you give yours over, that's going to be a problem for you. You don't need to kill yourself to help somebody else. That just makes no sense, right? So I would help them learn how to do that in a way that's not harmful to themselves.
And then so I myself I have a strong empathy, and when I work with people or interact with people who are in very dark place, severely depressed or in despair, grieving or something, I too feel depleted. So
is it possible that being triggered by the places you're going, that your own fears are coming up? Is it possible that you're resisting something, pulling the rubber band for your own self, and that's what's tiring you out? Is it possible?
Yeah, I'm easily like a sponge. I absorb people's sadness, negativity.
Why? There's no reason to.
So sometimes I still have to, I feel like I need to master the like method, how I can help people, how I can be the, I can hold a space for somebody without giving without synchronizing to their emotional states.
Well, all you need to do is have the intention to do that. You have to say, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold my vibration and be the light for them to come to. I'm not going to go to them. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to judge anything. I'm just going to be the love that I need to be and let them come to it, right? So I know it sounds easy when I say it, but it takes some work because you have your own issues that you're being triggered. See, I had to work on myself, and I still work on myself every day to make sure that I don't judge the situation like I have to do something. I just wait for the information, and then I share the information and guide them to their own truth. And then when that's the case, then there's no energy that needs to be expended.
So you can be the light to shine their space, shine their heart, shine their soul, instead of being dimmed by whatever the energy signature they hold.
I see it all as exactly the way it's supposed to be. So I just help them decide if they want to change it or not. If they want to change it, I show them how. But I don't have any problem with them holding on to any kind of negativity. I don't have any problem with them holding on to any entities or beings. That's why I said, because I don't see it as a problem, I only see it as a choice. Then it's their choice if they want to move towards the light more or not, right? Everybody that comes to see me, though, obviously has made a choice to move more towards their own selves, to their own truth, to their own light. And so they're open to it at some point. It takes a little while for some people to start moving, but basically I'm helping them move back to their own light, back to their own, harmony. And when you find that harmony, there's an unlimited amount of energy all around you. Unlimited
source of energy, abundance of energy.
Love.
Yes. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, Dan. Now changing the subject, I just want to chat a little bit about Mandela Effect. Of course, you have heard about Mandela Effect.
How does it go? Tell me about it.
Okay. Oh, you have never heard about Mandela Effect?
You're talking about Nelson Mandela?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, this phenomenon has been my grandchild. So Mandela Effect is the term that not only spiritual community has been talking about it right now. Uh-huh. So basically what started out was Nelson Mandela. He was imprisoned.
Yep.
And a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people believed in one time in their lives. They believed, they were notified, they witnessed, even on the TV, in the media. Nelson Mandela died in prison in 1980 something. I don't remember exact year. 1980 something. They witnessed the Nelson Mandela's huge, big memorial funeral. They are, making a funeral, a big funeral. They read the newspaper. They saw the news in the major TV channels like CNN and Fox News. And that's not only one person of a few people's memories, hundreds of thousands of people. And Nelson Mandela was not actually died in prison. Years later, he got out of the prison and became a president of South Africa. Mm-hmm. and he died, I think, a few years ago, 2000 something, right?
Yep.
So, which do you remember him dying in prison?
No, I don't remember that.
You have never heard the news?
Not about him dying in prison. I heard about him being in prison and then getting released from prison and then becoming president. I know all that stuff, but I did not know he died in prison.
So you and I are in the same timeline.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of people still remember to this day. Nelson Mandela did die in prison, but years later, he was not dead after all. They were like twilight zones. So that phenomenon, like two different realities exist. So that's why this phrase was made, Mandela Effect. And for example, now I have a question then. JFK, John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, he was assassinated in 1963, 62?
63.
63. Wow. Okay.
When I was born in 64.
Okay. All right. So have you ever watched his assassination footage on that video?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. How many people were in his vehicle when he was assassinated, shot?
In the car? I don't remember. His wife was in the car, him and the driver, and then maybe somebody in the front seat.
4 people.
That's what I think, yeah.
Majority of people remember as 4 people in the car. And now you Google it, there are 6 people.
Really? I didn't know that. I saw people walking around the car, but I don't remember 4. But that's fine. See, everything's a story, right?
And the 6 people in a stretch limousine, stretch limo, the Cadillac. And somebody, I read the article, stretch limousine from Cadillac, from Ford. Ford? Cadillac is Ford, right?
Yeah. No, Cadillac, Chevy.
Oh, Chevy, okay. So that stretch limo was not manufactured until 1965. But when you...
I remember it being in Lincoln Continental. That's what I remember.
I think it was a Cadillac.
Okay, I thought it was a Lincoln, but it could be. Okay. It's irrelevant.
But anyway, so it's not the vehicle, what type of vehicle is not the subject here. So millions of people remember there were only 4 people. I asked 4 people yesterday, my friends, two of whom, they say there were 4. There was no way stretch limo. That was a regular sedan, open car. There were 4 people. So, and the two of those 4, my friends, ordinary people, not spiritual or anything. None of those people knew about Mandela Effect. And those 2 people, one say, I just watched the documentary movie. I think there were 5 or 6, but he watched the documentary not too long ago. So the other one say 5 or 6. So 2 in a split in completely 2 groups. So this is another Mandela effect. So hundreds of thousands of cases like that have been reported all over the internet from all over the world. So, and what people are saying about Mandela effect is that the time doesn't exist, right? And time is bendable. Time can be like...
Sure. Well, we talk about this all the time in the energy work, right? I talk about your story, right? When we go back and find the root of the problem of your issue, right? It's never the same as you remember it. Because when you have a problem, let's say when you're 6 years old, you make up that story, you push it down, and then we're still reliving it as an adult, right? And we need to go back and re-experience it and complete it, because remember so the story grows into a bigger and bigger problem, because then we shove it down and put more layers and more layers, and we have to work our way back down to it, right? Everything is just a story because we only remember what we can remember, right? That's why everything's right this moment, and we have to pay attention to what's happening for us in this moment, because our stories are changing it. Our stories always change it, right? If we think this moment is good, we have a story that says it's good. If we think this moment is bad, we have a story that says it's bad. It's all about stories, right? And how we tell our stories.
Okay,
right?
Yes. But so what about how can you explain this Mandela effect of corrective memories?
Because it just like anything else, if anybody can convince us of anything. If we want to jump on board with somebody else's story, we can, right? Everybody's got their own story, right? So if we want to jump on it, like if we want to jump on the story that the earth is flat, we can say the earth is flat. It's still just a story, right? And we can say the earth is round, but it's still just a story, right? Because you can say anything you want, but it's just your story. Right? If I want to say that this table's this desk is solid, it's a story, but it's not really. We know it's moving particles, right?
Right.
So
right.
However, but everybody in the world will tell you that the desk is hard and solid, right? But it's just a story. So, same as a story that says I'm Dan Machini, a human being. No, that's just my story. Who I am is really God experiencing this moment as Dan Machini on earth, right? So everything is a story. How you spin your story lets you be either happy or sad, right? Either in harmony or out of harmony.
And then, so basically this Mandela effect of for example, this JFK's 4 people in a vehicle, 6 people in a vehicle, they are divided in 2 groups. So they...
I mean, some people might say there's only 2. Some people might say there's 10. I don't know. You might get a lot more stories.
And then, so all those stories are valid, like real, truth?
Well, they're only real if you believe them. All stories are only real if you believe them. Tell me a story about what you're going to make for dinner. Well, tell me. Go ahead. Just tell me a story about what you're going to make for dinner, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
But that is like a story for my tonight, for example, my story for tonight.
I know, but so you're going to tell the story right now what you're going to do for dinner, but when you make dinner, it may not be exactly the same, right?
Right.
So when after dinner, if I call your son and say, "What'd you have for dinner?" he might tell me something differently than you told me.
Exactly, but okay, but the history remains. That's what most people say. History, okay, we study.
Right, but I remember what's history? His story. His story.
His story.
Right? So history in a book is one person's story. History, if you ask 10 people, they have 10 different stories, right?
But we studied from same history books, same Bibles.
That doesn't make it right. That just makes it that person's story.
Okay, it's I don't know. All right, have you ever read Bible?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I read it.
All right, I read the Bibles. Okay, one time in English, and then most of the time in Japanese translated version of Bible. I don't know exactly. I don't remember how it says. I forgot. But you must remember this then. It's a book of Isaiah. This is a very famous passage. Bible talks about lion and a lamb.
Okay.
Do you recall?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay. So it used to be lion and the lamb. But today, if you pick up your old Bible from your bookshelf, take a look.
What's it going to say?
Wolf.
Okay. So it's still just a story, right?
So it's not like mind bending, like a Twilight Zone moment.
Everything is. Everything is just a story, right? Only thing that's happening is right now is what's happening. That's the only truth, and everything's happening at the same time. You said it yourself, right?
But it doesn't surprise you?
Nothing surprises me.
Because when I saw the JFK's six people's video,
Yeah.
I was in the twilight zone because I remember I was so interested, very curious about JFK. And I watched the videos long time ago, more than a couple of times. I remember there were 4 people. And now all the pictures and videos I can find on the Google, on the internet, there are 6 people.
So, but what's the problem?
Somebody went to the past and changed the past, or we are in a different.
Or your story was 4 people, but the truth is 6 people. I don't know. It doesn't make any difference, right? It's just a story.
So,
is JFK dead, or is he just back in spirit form?
Oh,
is Elvis dead, or is he just back in spirit form? I don't know. We know there's really any unlimited possibilities of truth, right?
Right.
So
but it's only like existing our memories, those like old versions of things. There are like thousands of hundreds of Mandela Effect reported on internet. I want you to check that when you have time.
But they don't mean anything. It doesn't matter, right? Why does it matter?
Because our logical mind, our analytical minds believes it was supposed to be this, and it was supposed to be that. It was that, and it was this, and now it's.
But if you have a problem with it, then you have a problem with yourself, right? Why are you out of harmony with it? Just be okay with it. What difference does it make?
No, it's okay, but it's we want to find out the reason why things are changing. Today, something that we see is no longer the same as we remember.
Yep, all the time that happens. All the time. Remember, the human brain's very limited, right? That's why when we're working at a soul level, we got to keep the mind out of the way, because the human brain is not very cosmic, right? It's not very aware. So yeah, if you want to spend your time, with that, that's cool, but don't let it bother you. Things are always changing. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's happening for you right now.
You might one day when you wake up in the morning and you look at your wife next to you, she might not be the wife you know.
She mostly isn't, because she's changing too, right? We work on ourselves all the time. We're not the same people we were yesterday.
As a matter of fact, I've heard about that too. The Mandela Effect, and my wife is not the wife I know.
Because your story changed, right?
Right. But I would say that person, if your friend, your son or wife or husband, it's one morning they wake up and they are not the same person. There is another explanation we can make though. Instead of Mandela Effect, it's like a walking, like a different soul breathed in, or a different soul enter the body.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yes, that happens.
So if you can believe that, then you can believe anything, right?
I know, but it's so interesting, and people are just saying that. So many people are just saying that our timeline shifted, and we are like
so much is changing.
Yeah.
Don't fight it.
Just enjoy, right? Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. We're not going to be here very long.
Oh yeah.
No, we're not here. 80, 90 years, not that much time.
That's right.
When I was 18, I thought, I'll never be 50. Now I'm 53. I'm like, oh my God, how did I get here? It went by like that, right?
Right, that's right.
If I think about it, I can make up a story that just yesterday I was 15. How did I get to 53, right? I can make that story up quick, right? I can't even remember what I was doing at 15 very well. It's just a story now. I sure as I can't remember what Mandela was doing.
Right. And considering our soul's eternal journey, and we are all traveling, right? We are the travelers, right?
Yep.
So
And
this,
let's go back to the other thing we talked about with Mandela, because like we talked about holding the light, Mandela held the light. He held the light at a high frequency, and he held it there, and eventually the people came, right? The people came to it, and they voted him as president. He didn't go down with the people. He didn't fight. He just held the light and held his faith for the light. Love
right,
will conquer, right? He held it. He held it and let people come. It took years and years and years, but they came, right?
right, right.
It's awesome, right?
It's awesome. Like Ganji too.
Same
There are
thing.
a
Hold
lot.
the light. I'm not going to eat until you people see the truth. And if I got to die, I'll die. I don't care, right? The truth.
Right. But that truth could be different, right?
No, the truth is the truth, that there's only love.
Only
If you don't
love.
want to see, if you don't want to see it, you can make another story up, and you can do whatever you want. It's your choice.
Truth
But
is
Gandhi
only
and
love.
Mandela said, choose love, choose love, choose love. That's all they ever said.
That's all the working ascended masters or all the spiritual gurus or teachers, they would say all same thing.
That's right. You are loved. Period, right? Period. Everything else is just a story. Right? If I want to make up a story that I'm not loved, I can. That's fine. But if I want to remember that I'm loved, I can do that too.
Stories.
Stories. His story, her story.
If
Stories.
you don't like your story, you can always rewrite.
That's right. And that's what I help people do, because they have a story that's being fed by energy, fed by trauma, fed by emotions, feeding my story, feeding my story. When I remove the fuel for the story, then the story can go away, and I can look for another story, or I can change my story.
And I was inspired after watching those Mandela effects, especially JFK. You can actually rewrite your history, your past. You can erase your past, and you can rewrite your past and change it. So today's your condition, your mind, your emotions, your physical conditions, you can change that by rewriting your history.
Yep.
That was my inspiration received by
So look,
Mandela.
so let's take JFK. All right. I can make a story that JFK being assassinated is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Right? Or I can make up a story that if JFK wouldn't have been assassinated, I would have never met Keiko, and I wouldn't be online with her right now. Different story. Right? So
Right.
in that story, JFK being assassinated is a wonderful thing. Right? If I make another story that JFK getting assassinated meant that blah, 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 I can make a terrible thing out of it, right?
Right.
However I want to make my story is how then I experience it.
Right.
My story creates my experience. If my story is that however it is perfectly okay, then that's how I experience it. If my story is that it's a problem, then that's how I experience it.
Right. So in order for one to change your one's history or story, so what would you say?
Then I would help them let go of the energy that's holding on to the old story, right? So if I think, for example, about JFK, and I get scared to drive down the road now because somebody might shoot me. Now I'm scared all the time, and I'm going like this, and I won't drive down the road.
Right.
And it's hurting my life because I can't be free and I can't be up. Then I need to let go of that fear, let go of that energy that's keeping me scared. Once I let go of that, I can make up a new story. Wait a minute, I don't need to do that anymore. It's okay. I'm safe. I can drive down the road. It's okay. Right? I changed my story because I let go of the energy that's feeding this other story. Right? I work with a lady who didn't want to drive here because she's scared to drive because people are crazy and she might get in a wreck. So she drives like this, scared to death, looking around all the time, drives 20 miles an hour, and she's going to cause a wreck because she's in the way, right? So I said, you need to come here, and you need to do that because you need to experience the difference when you leave here to when you got here. So she drove here, scared to death, came in a nervous wreck. We worked for 2 hours, and then she said, okay. I said, now I want you to drive home. And she got in the car, all nervous wreck, and then she realized, wait a minute, it feels different. And she drove home, and she felt a lot better. And then she drove back the next week, and we worked on it some more, worked on it some more. Now she doesn't have that story that she's in danger all the time. Right. She is in danger, but why worry about it? It doesn't change anything, right? Everybody's in danger when they're on the road, right? We're in danger when we go outside to get the mail. But who cares? We can't live in fear. We've got to have an expectation that I'm going to be fine. And then if we're not fine, oh well. But we have to accept the fact that it's our story that makes it up, right? Some people drive down the road, they're putting on makeup, they're reading a book, and it's like, hello, right? But they're not scared, are they? Right? And somehow they make it to work. And sometimes people get in wrecks for crazy reasons. But the truth is that we're either always in danger or we're never in danger, or whatever story you want to make about it. I choose to just say, hey, I'm safe and I'm going to do what I want to do. And if something happens, something happens. But other people don't choose that. Other people choose, oh, I can't do it. I got to stay in the house. I got to lock myself in. I'm scared, right?
But that type of like a fear actually attracts exact what they are fearing about.
That's exactly right. And then they manifest it, right?
Right.
So I manifest safety, love, light, and that's what I get.
So energy work, so that you've been doing that, helping people. But I think we talked about that in the past also already. But one is working for themselves, one's self. So what they can do is positive affirmation, reinforced affirmation.
Those don't help if you don't get rid of the energy that's feeding it, right? If you get rid of the fuel, then the positive affirmation can help. It can shift right away. But if you're just talking things, I'm not fat, I'm not fat. But while you're eating, it doesn't. You can put all the sticky notes everywhere you want. I'm beautiful. I'm this. But if you don't believe it inside, it doesn't matter.
Then how one can work for oneself.
Yeah, and if I'm good at ignoring myself, I will ignore myself again. Easily.
Right. So
my goal is always to remind you who you really are, which is God.
Right.
When you remember that you're God, you remember that everything that you do is a choice, and that if you don't like that choice, just make another choice. But don't judge yourself. There's no bad choice. There's just preferences and the way I'd like to do it, right? So from that perspective of I'm perfect, I'm God, everything else is a choice, right? It doesn't matter if you're short or tall or fat or thin or black or white, or if you eat vanilla ice cream or strawberry. It doesn't matter. They're all just choices that we chose. And when we go back to our truer selves, when we go back to the heavens, none of that's going to matter, right? It doesn't matter how much money you've made here. You can't take it with you. None of that matters. It's about your experience. And your experience, you can experience it as miserable, or you can experience it as happy or peaceful. Your choice. Right? There's no right or wrong. If you want to be miserable. But do you ever watch the, Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, or what's the guy in Hollywood, the medium in Hollywood? Do you ever watch those TV shows?
Never.
They channel the deceased for the family members.
John something, I know.
Yeah.
John Horan. John?
Oh, yeah, that's an older one. Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while. But yeah, same type of thing. The message from the other side is always the same. Always. I'm fine. I'm not in pain. I'm not unhappy. I'm not, I don't have cancer anymore. The message is all the same. I'm fine. Live your life. Be happy. Let go of the pain. They always say the same thing because it's true. There's no reason to be scared of anything. We're eternal beings. We live forever.
So we are so limited in this small confined bodies.
The brain is limited.
The mind.
The brain is human. But the spirit is not.
Right. So
that's why the spirit should be in charge, not the mind.
So while we are in these confined bodies, we can best way to work on ourselves. I think this is how I feel, to just try to practice connecting to source, connecting to God, like
Yep.
open your heart space.
And you're God, so connect yourself. Make decisions from your spirit self, not from your brain.
Not from your mind.
The brain's good to say 2 + 2 is 4, and do things like that, hammer nails, and but that's not what. But life situations and experiences, you need to come from your heart, right? From your heart space. You need to make those decisions from a place of love, not fear.
That's right. Place of love, not fear, and know thyself.
That's right. And know that it's my choice, and I have to take responsibility for it. Because here on earth, there's consequences, right? If we do this, then this happens. If we do that, then that happens, right? If we eat too much, we're going to gain weight. If we blah, blah, blah. But that's just the rules here. And we agreed to them when we came, and we need to take responsibility. But it's still our choice. I can eat more or I can eat less. I can, it's still a choice.
Personal choice.
You can't blame the food. You can't blame the restaurant. You can't blame anybody else. It's you.
We are given a free will.
That's right. And it's our choice how we do it.
And beautiful, right?
Wonderful. That's the greatest thing. That's why I love it here, because there's so many wonderful choices. Right? And yeah, if I eat too much, I get fatter, and I have to take responsibility for that. But when I die, is it going to matter? Right?
Right. And even if you get you get fatter, but you enjoy everyday life by eating whatever you enjoy eating.
That's right. So it's my choice to eat smaller amounts and not be heavy because I want to hike and I want to, but that's just my choice. But I'm okay if you do it a different way, right? You can do it however you want.
Right.
No. You like to work out at 9 o'clock at night, and I like to work out at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Right.
I like to be in bed at 10 o'clock, and you're not even
3 o'clock in the morning.
I know. See, I get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to work, and you're fast asleep, right?
And we are both fine, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's
There's no right or wrong way to do it. Any way you want. It's your choice.
Never ever judge others.
There's no reason to. They're not doing anything wrong, and neither am I.
Right.
Right? They're just making their choices. It's perfectly fine.
That's a consciousness of God.
That's exactly right.
Right.
God says you're loved, period, no matter what you do.
Now you're talking to you like ding, 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 like a light lit up.
Yeah.
That's right.
See? So however you want to do it is perfectly fine.
That's a way of freedom.
That's exactly right.
Suffering.
It's exactly right. It's freedom. Hey, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. Let's have a good time. However we want to do it. I'll have a good time at working out at 4:30, and you have a good time working out at 9 p.m. And this person will have a good time never working out. But if they're making a negative story about themselves, then they got a problem. But it's their problem, not mine.
If you feel...
But if you want me to help you work on your problem, I'll be glad to. But if you don't, that's fine too.
That's right.
So that's why I don't give up my energy. I don't need to give up my energy because I'm perfectly fine the way you are.
And because you don't judge.
That's right.
Right. I got it. Got it. That's so beautiful. Dan, it's getting dark here. So I think, okay. I think I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to chat with Dan for a few minutes or two of us. But anyway.
Always good chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And if you like to walk with Dan, you like to experience the healing energy walk by Dan, please, I'm going to post the link below. Please contact Dan. I know I've worked with him, and I can really recommend that if you like to release something, you like to have a little like a spiritual.
You'd like to remember who you are.
Right. So please contact Dan. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now. I'm going to stop recording.